other questions? Okay. So, first off, what's your name?
Cale Dutson.
Okay.
Cale Rulin Dutson.
Okay. First question was, when and where were you born?
September 6, 1955, at Mount Pleasant, Utah.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That's Mom was saying that not too many people were born in Mount Pleasant. Or
Actually, everybody from Ephraim and around that area were born there because that was the only hospital in Sanpete County.
okay. Where did you live growing up?
Granger, Utah.
Okay.
I mean, I lived in my grandpa and grandma's house for a little while, and then we moved to where was it? Logan, Utah, where my dad was going to college. And then we lived in Southgate, Salt Lake City for a couple of months or a few months, and then we lived in Kearns for a few months while Dad was building our house, and then we moved to Granger when I was 5.
Okay.
And then when I was 15, we moved to High Country
Okay.
over by Harriman.
Okay, that's why. I heard that you lived in Harriman for most of the time. Well, what about Leamington?
I,
I know you went there quite a few
I
times.
spent my summers there from the time I was 9 until I was 15.
Okay.
I worked for my grandpa's on my grandpa's farm.
Okay. How was life growing
I had a Norman Rockwell life.
up?
I mean, lived in a small neighborhood where everybody knew everybody else's kids, and had an orchard and a field, and so we spent a lot of time playing in the orchard, and half the time we didn't even go home for lunch. We just ate fruit off the trees. And
That'd be nice. A lot different than compared to nowadays.
yep. And then when I spent my summers in Leamington, we'd go swimming in the river, and we'd go hunting and play baseball.
That's cool. Yeah. Actually, next question is, who were your childhood friends and what were your favorite memories with them?
Oh, heavens.
A lot.
That's a loaded question.
At least name some memories.
Uh, David Jordan, called him Davy. He was a little mischief maker that got me in more trouble than that he did. And Don Linton, he was a nerd who grew up to be the school president of his school, Granger High School. I think he's a attorney now,
Oh, okay.
but I taught him how to catch because he was always into the books instead of going out and playing with the rest of the kids. So the rest of the kids made fun of him. But we made slingshots and bows and arrows and swords. And
Everything that a kid nowadays should have, but they don't. So.
well, my dad was a cabinet maker, so we had a lot of scrap wood that we could carve up.
Okay.
And we all had pocket knives.
Yeah, like nowadays you can't give a lot of people pocket knives because they'll do something stupid with them. Yeah. What's your favorite childhood memory?
Hmm.
Tough one.
Huh?
That's a tough one.
I'll say.
So many.
I just hadn't finished talking about my friends yet.
Oh,
That was just in Granger. I hadn't talked about the ones at Leamington yet. Winning the state championship in Little League football. That was my favorite childhood memory.
that's cool. Oh, let's see. Can you tell us about the first time you drove?
The first time I drove, well, you'd have to qualify that. I drove a tractor at 9
Okay.
and a 2-ton truck at 11, but it was only in first gear. And
What about when your grandpa taught you how?
Yeah. What about the story about driving your grandpa's truck?
I'm getting there.
Oh, okay.
They were all my grandpa's trucks,
Oh.
but you probably want to hear about the pickup truck story. Well, I was used to driving like I say, a 2-ton truck in first gear, so it was pretty slow. And we were up at the stack yard doing something I don't remember, but he decided it was time for me to learn how to drive the pickup truck. And it was a lot peppier than that 2-ton truck. And I put it in gear and hit the gas, and we smoked the tires going out of the dust, and we managed to miss the gate post. And Grandpa went for the brake, and I went for the brake at the same time. We both hit the gas instead and jumped a ditch and landed out in the field and managed finally to get the brake on.
Knowing your grandpa, I could just see it.
And my grandpa was not upset, but he was kind of scared. So, and I was definitely scared because I was sitting on his lap. But
Then didn't he have to like?
You say, I gotta change my clothes.
yeah, he had to go out and go to the bathroom.
Oh boy. Okay. The next one is, can you tell us about the dog in Leamington?
The dog in Leamington, the one that we hog-tied, and
Yeah, apparently. This is a question by Mom.
he used to chase me all the time, and he'd chase us when we'd go rabbit hunting, and bark all the time when we tried to sneak out when we were sleeping outside, and he'd give us away. So when we started roping things, we decided we'd rope him and hog tie him and paint his testicles orange.
Oh boy.
Did he ever chase you after that?
Oh yeah, but we got our pound of flesh. So,
Yeah, I know.
because we used to ride a bicycle all around Leamington, and we'd ride from one end to the other, and it was good 2 miles, you know. But that was the only method of transportation around then.
Yeah. Yeah. Wasn't there another story though? Mom was telling me there was 2 stories.
I'm not remembering another story. I'd have to have a better hint than that.
Grandpa's got a lot of different stories about a lot of different things.
Well, I guess since there's nothing you can remember anyway from
Well,
the second one.
Yeah, Grandpa tell you his best friends in Leamington.
Okay.
Yeah, John Nielsen. He was a 12-year-old man, even though he was skinny and didn't have a whole lot of muscle. He could
Wasn't he also
do a
related
lot
to
of
you?
work. Huh?
Was he also related to you?
No, not John Nielsen.
Gotcha.
Kim Hansen was related to me. He was my second cousin,
Oh, okay.
and he used to run with us all the time too. He's the one that kept us out of trouble. And, well, kind of, he kept us out of trouble. No, that's Don Marlowe. Don Marlowe Nielsen married my cousin. And he's the one that kept us out of trouble because he'd go home before we got in trouble. Because we'd steal pop bottles from off the neighbor lady's porch. Because back then you could turn them in for a nickel. I fell down
Did it hurt?
a little bit.
Okay. Is that all? Some of your best friends? You have any others? Remember?
Well, I started off with a good friend named Scott Overson, but he started smoking and drinking and stuff. His mom was a widow. And
That Maya Ruth's brother?
yeah, she was never around, so he kind of took after his brother.
Yeah.
So we didn't hang around with him a whole lot.
Okay. Well, the next question is, did you ever do any high school pranks? If so, what were they?
Well, we supposedly stole the anchor off the front lawn of the high school. And we supposedly welded the clacker on the victory bell so it wouldn't ring. And we supposedly put a block of cement in the ROTC's cannon so that it didn't just go boom, it actually launched a projectile.
Like, did you actually do any of this?
Supposedly.
Supposedly?
Let's just put it at that.
Okay.
I don't think there
Is
There were-
statutes of limitations?
there were other things we did, but I can't remember all.
Do you have your list of the cemetery story of the date?
I never heard anything about that.
About burying one of our friends in the cemetery in sawdust, and then took the girls out to the cemetery
I
and,
never heard that.
and parked by their grave. Then he come up out of the sawdust and scared them all to death.
Oh boy.
And they took off in his car, right?
Huh?
Didn't they take off in his car?
No,
Oh,
no, they just took off,
okay.
Oh boy.
and we couldn't get them back in the car.
Was that it?
Yep, that's all I can think of.
Okay, well, the next question is, what activities did you do in high school? And what were your favorite memories?
I did football and basketball. I did jazz band, concert band, marching band.
You played trumpet for all those, right?
Yeah, except for the marching band, I played sousaphone. I played stage band. I know there are 5 bands that I played in. And I guess our trip to Canada was my fondest memory.
What were you doing up there?
We did the Calgary Stampede Parade.
How'd you like Canada? We went to California last year, but I think.
Well, when I went to basic training, they went to Europe.
Oh, okay. Yeah. The next question actually is, what made you join the U.S. Army?
I was mad. I was really mad, and there was a billboard that I happened to drive by that showed a guy rappelling out of a helicopter. So I went and got in an argument with my mom and told her maybe I'll just go enlist. And she said, well, maybe you should. So I borrowed her car, went and enlisted.
You just went straight to the recruiter and just like,
Yep.
what's on the papers?
Well, my parents had to sign the papers because I was only 17 and I wasn't out of high school yet. So
Oh, okay.
I went in on the delayed enlistment program on May 10th and then went to basic on June 10th.
Yeah. Actually, so the next question is, when did you enlist and when did you graduate basic training?
I enlisted in June 10th, 1973, and I actually, like I say, I went in the delayed enlistment program on May 10th of 1973, enlisted in June 10th, and actually I graduated in August 10th of 1973.
Interesting. So, how many weeks of basic training did you go through?
8 weeks.
Shorter than now. Now you have 10 weeks of basic training.
Yeah. Well, Vietnam was still going on, so.
Oh, let's see. So, what was your favorite basic training memory? If you remember any.
We had a guy named Pohl or Pool from a different platoon. He screwed up some way and they made him stand at attention and say, oh Pohl, why am I so dumb? Oh Pohl, why am I so dumb? And he had to say that until they got tired of him saying it.
How long was that, would you say? Maybe like...
Probably 20 minutes.
Oh boy. Let's see.
He was probably tired of hearing it too.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. Where did you go to basic training and AIT?
I went to basic training at Fort Ord, California. And then I went to AIT, but it wasn't, most of the infantry went to Fort Polk, Louisiana for AIT, but we went right directly to Fort Lewis and went OJT with the 5th Special Forces Group. And they trained us.
What's OJT?
On the job training.
Oh, okay. How was basic training for you personally?
At first it was scary, but having coaches yell at you for 7 years didn't bother me to have drill sergeants or sergeants yell at me. I didn't take it personally, so.
Yeah. Let's see. What MOS did you choose?
11 Bravo infantry.
Okay. And then, how was it arriving to your first unit?
My first what?
Your first unit.
Well, like I say, we went OJT, so we had, well, the Army was making a transition to the new volunteer Army. Were getting rid of the draft. So they were supposedly weren't able to swear at us or hit us or anything like that, but we got a platoon sergeant that said he was brown boot all the way, and he would yell at us. He wouldn't punch us, but he would poke us and stuff. He expected starched fatigues and spit shine boots instead of pressed fatigues and shiny boots. And we loved him. He taught me more about leadership than just about anybody.
That's cool. But you never got like tied to a bed or something like that, or something crazy.
No, he threw a guy out of the window on his mattress because he got drunk and wet the bed. So he threw him out the window.
Like literally just tossed him out the window?
Tossed him on his mattress out the window.
Oh,
And he tore apart our barracks once, just after we got back from the field because it wasn't clean.
oh. Let's see. What was it like being in the infantry?
Hard. I mean, I was in the 9th Infantry Division, and it was still what they called straight leg. So we walked everywhere we went. And we'd a lot of times carry an 80-pound load. So we'd do about 14 miles a day. And I was a M60 machine gunner. So that was a 23-pound machine gun.
Not including the belt and ammo.
And the ammo.
Yeah.
So it was hard, but I was proud of it. I went from 185 to 197 of my patrol weight. So I liked it. We were a good bunch of guys.
I kind of understand how that felt, because when I did the reenactment, I carried an M60. That thing sucks. Because a lot of times, you just either carry it by the handle, which sometimes doesn't work all the time.
My special forces advisor wouldn't let me carry it by the handle or by the bipod. It had to be on a sling over one shoulder or over the other, ready to go.
What I did is I just put it on my shoulder, grabbed it by the bipod, and just carried it like that.
Yeah, we weren't allowed to do that. We were taught right off the bat that where your eyes go, the muzzle of your weapon goes. So we weren't allowed to carry it by the bipod or the handle or the carrying handle.
Okay. Oh, let's see. Well, I'm gonna have to go get this paper for this. Here is a funny question. I'll ask you just a sec. Okay. So, the next question is, how do you use one piece of toilet paper to clean your bottom?
You fold it into a triangle. Then you fold it into a triangle again. Then you tear the point out. Then you stick your finger through there and wipe your butt. And then you fold it back and throw this away. and then you use this to clean your fingernail.
I always love that story. I love that story. It was funny. It was funny when I first learned it. Did you ever actually have to use that though?
No,
Oh, okay, that's good.
no, but I did learn how to do it on C-ration toilet paper, which was only a square about that big, and they had, I think, 5 squares.
Yeah, they weren't that big. But I will say cookies are really good though. When you get a dessert unit, those are decent. Hate canned food though now. Hate it. I've had enough of fruit cocktail. Anyway, let's see. Can you tell us about the time your barracks were gassed out with CS gas or tear gas?
Well, we were getting ready to go on our RTEP, which is annual, I can't remember what it stands for, but it was our annual training exercise that we were evaluated on. And we were all confined to the barracks, which was a 2-story barracks. And we were all confined to the barracks, and I lived on the top floor. And we heard people cussing and standing out in the street in their underwear and couldn't figure out what was going on. And we were looking out the window, and then I started to sneeze, which was a sure sign that we were getting gassed. And pretty soon we were getting gassed and ran outside. We were standing out in our underwear cussing just as well. And the first sergeant sent somebody in to find out where that was coming from, because it was coming from the vents. And we found out that our NBC NCO, who was in charge of chemical weapons, of our chemical weapons inventory, had dumped some CS crystals on the floor and put his gas mask on and was sweeping it up in a dustpan that was going up through the vents.
What happened to him afterwards?
He got chewed out by the first sergeant.
Oh boy. That's not.
So we all ended up with gas mask while he cleaned it up.
Oh, let's see. How close were you to deploying to Vietnam?
My draft number was number 6. So I was real close. And then when we went through amphibious assault school down in Coronado, California, on the way down, Saigon was getting overrun by the North Vietnamese. So they pulled us into port and loaded us up with ammo and told us to expect to change our course from amphibious assault school to Saigon. So we were pretty close.
Okay. But after all that happened, so you got orders to go to Germany for 2 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Were you excited to go to Germany?
No, I wanted to go to Korea.
Why Korea?
'Cause that's where my dad was, and that's where the action was, and it was only a 1-year tour.
What was going on in Korea at the time?
They were still having some skirmishes along the DMZ.
Oh, let's see. But when you went to Germany, how long did you stay in Germany?
26 months.
Okay. Did you see the Berlin Wall at all?
We weren't allowed to go to Berlin because we were combat arms. Our job was to stop 10 Russian armor divisions from coming in Fulda Gap, so we weren't allowed to go anywhere other than West Germany.
Okay.
But didn't you guys have to patrol along the wall?
We did some patrolling along the East German fence, but not along the wall. Berlin was inside East Germany.
Yeah. What was the environment like though when you were patrolling the East German Wall?
Well, along that area, some places welcomed us and threw fruit to us as we'd convoy through their towns and stuff like that. Others, they had one town where the townspeople blocked the road and armed themselves with shotguns. They figured that the Russians were going to be winning, so they wouldn't let us go through their town. But generally, we were well accepted.
How was the first year of your deployment?
Well, a lot of the guys expected everybody to speak English and went only to places where they did speak English. And me and my buddies, we went to places where they spoke German. We tried to learn German. We tried to learn and obey the customs. And so for us, we made a lot of friends and had a lot of fun, compared to a lot of the other guys who just hated it there.
So overall, that first year, you had a decent time.
The first and second year was really good. By the second year, I could speak passable German, enough to get to where I wanted to go.
So I do understand that between your first and second year, you came back for about, what was it, 2 weeks?
I came back for 3 weeks. Just how long did I have? 10 months?
Yeah, 10 months to go.
Yeah. I had 10 months to go and came back for my grandparents' golden wedding anniversary and met your grandma.
I was about to say, the next question is, how did you meet Grandma?
Well, I was there in uniform because I was proud of my uniform. And I went home for my grandparents' golden wedding anniversary, which normally you had to have 30 days of accrued leave before you could go back to the continental United States, but they let me come back for that special occasion. And I went to the wedding anniversary reception, and I was standing out on the stoop out by the middle doors of the chapel, and I saw your mom and her sisters and come up in their car and go in another door, but I didn't pay much attention at that time. And we had to do the usual pictures and all this and that and the other. And when we got done, I went out to get a sandwich that was really good. It was ribbon sandwiches. And your mom was guarding them. No. But I got some more sandwiches, and I just had this feeling that I just had to know her. And so I went back and told her that I don't usually do this, but would she like to go out with me?
Yeah.
First she asked me what my name was.
Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah. I love the name Laura Lee.
Was it because it was close to your mom's name?
No, just because it's a pretty name.
Yeah, he was surprised and when you went to your mom and said, Mom, this is meant to be.
Yep. I'd broken up with a gal that I was supposed to marry, and it was pretty painful. And the last thing I wanted to do when I came home was date anybody. I changed the oil in my car and went to see my buddies, and I just really didn't want to date anybody. And then I saw your mom.
Grandma.
Yeah, your grandma, but
I know what you
I
mean.
know.
Oh, let's see. What did you guys do after there?
we went to a rodeo. It scared me half to death because there were fireworks.
And you hear the loud bang and pop. Too much like gunfire.
So, but it was a good rodeo. We held hands. I like to hold hands.
Let's see. So, after you guys met, how was the experience of having to go back to Germany afterwards?
I didn't want to go, but I figured 10 months. I'd already done 16. I'd already done 16 months. So I could do 10 months. But we wrote back and forth, and it was good.
That's good.
And she sent me a really nice picture that I just adored. And
And then she sent you like cookies or something like that, or
she sent me peanut butter and jelly,
oh,
and I was the number one GI in the barracks because I had peanut butter and jelly,
yeah.
and we bought a loaf of bread, so I was tops.
Very popular that day.
Oh boy. Was it because they requested it or something like that?
Huh?
Was it they requested it and you wrote to who?
No,
Oh.
no, she just sent it to me.
So, how was the rest of your deployment to Germany overall?
It had its moments. We used to walk patrol around the nuclear storage base at Misau Army Depot. And as the Alpha Fire Team leader, I walked point. And you had to stay on the trail, which sets you up. They had a trail already cut out for you to walk. So, as every infantryman knows, you don't walk the trails if you could help it. And that was scary. But then we had to patrol all the ammo bunkers on foot and live ammo. So basically, we were doing combat patrols in Misau Army Depot, which had 3/4 of NATO's ammo from everything from small arms to nuclear warheads. And then we had to do our time up around the East German border twice a year for 30 days each. So it had its moments. It was cold. It was a really wet cold. It wasn't a dry cold like it is here.
Yeah. What was your favorite memory in Germany then?
The two Christmases I spent there were my favorite. No, it wasn't nice being away from home, but my buddy had a cousin that lived at a different post, and we had guard duty on Christmas Eve the first year, and we jumped a train after that and went to Bad Kreuznach. And when we got ready to come back, there was a little old man throwing walnuts all over the platform. And we turned out that he'd escaped from Hungary, and that was all he had was the walnuts. And when he found out we were American, he started to cry and said that he was so grateful to meet some of the people that were going to set his people free. And Then the next year, we had guard duty on Christmas, and me and my buddy went to a Gast house, which is like a pub, and we didn't, between the two of us, we managed to find out that they were going to give us anything that was on the menu because they knew that we were not home for Christmas, and that touched us. It was a family that we kind of adopted, and so those are my two favorite experiences.
Let's see. During your deployment in Germany, you went to French Commando School in the French sector of Germany. Why did you do that, and how was it to train there?
I did it because you could go to the PX and get a Ranger tab. You could go to the PX and get a Special Forces tab. You could go to the PX and get all sorts of ribbons, but only the French could give you a French commando badge. So I volunteered to go. And we didn't have a language barrier because most of them spoke Spanish. We had a lot of Spanish-speaking soldiers, so we didn't have to do that. But it was tough. I mean, I'm afraid of heights, and there was a lot of it that was above ground. I mean, their idea of safety is you had to have a safety line anytime you were more than 15 feet above the ground. So we had to do a lot of things above the ground, a lot of obstacle courses, escape and evasion. We had to kill and eat a live chicken that they dropped out of a helicopter, and demolitions. I learned a lot about booby traps and mines. And we learned some of their weapon systems, and it was a good school. And not everybody got to go. I mean, there was a British unit ahead of us and a Belgian unit behind us a week.
That's cool. Oh yeah. What's that one story about the Polish smokers?
Oh, the Polish smokers?
Yeah.
They had more guts than any unit I knew of, because most of them were either in World War II or descendants of people from World War II that were in the Polish army, the Polish contingent of the Allies, and they gave them all jobs, and part of their jobs was, at least with two units that I know of, was the Polish smokers, where they'd go out in front of us with Jeeps with smoke generators and lay down smoke screens, which, if you figure that out, that means they've got to be out in front of the tanks and the personnel carriers and all that. But they just didn't have to go as far. But still, that's pretty gutsy. And if you went to any post where they were posted, you could definitely tell they were there, because they had the cleanest barracks and the nicest barracks, because they took a lot of pride in what they did.
Yeah, I remember hearing the story. That was interesting. Let's see. What's your thoughts on this? This comes from Mom. What's your thoughts on the French commandos compared to the U.S. Army?
Well, it carried it to a second level. I mean, it was like Ranger School, except it didn't have a swamp. I mean, we had to do mountaineering and land navigation and all that. We had to blow up a mock missile base with actual explosives and stuff like that. So I consider it pretty close to Ranger School, and the guys that I knew that went to Ranger School thought it was pretty close.
That's cool. Not say land navigation in the mountains sucks.
I didn't like climbing cliffs either.
Let's see. Okay. How did you think your whole deployment in Germany during those 2 years went?
I think it went good. I learned a lot of things. A lot of different laws that pertain to the Germans that didn't pertain to us, and vice versa. I learned to love the people. I'd have given my life for the people. And like I say, I made a lot of friends. A lot of German friends, I should say.
Would you ever go back there?
Sure. I did, with the National Guard.
Let's see. The next question is, what did you do after you got back to the States?
Married your grandma. Looked for a job, didn't find a job, finally went to the depot. They had a veterans representative at the, what they call it, unemployment. And he said they were looking for people that are looking for veterans. And so I signed up there. They put me with an M16 back in my hands. And it was just basically doing what I was doing before.
So, one thing that Mom put in here was, how did you propose to Grandma?
I wish I'd have done it over again, or I could have done it over again.
A letter.
Yeah, I did it in a letter first, asking her to change her name tag to Dutson. And
Home.
then when I got home,
You're sitting on
the swing chair up in the Incline Terrace, and basically just asked her to, well,
you marry me or what?
nothing fancy. I wasn't very romantic. I asked her dad if I could marry him while I was fixing my car.
Sitting on the front seat, and I opened the door was open, and Dad came out and, so can I marry your daughter? Have permission to marry your daughter?
So I wasn't a very romantic person back then. I was kind of cut and dry.
Just straight to the point, basically.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't used to being romantic or anything. I was just, like I say, cut and dry.
Oh, wait, let me make sure that your mic's still working. I gotta check. Let's see. Yep, still good. Okay. I'll just make sure the battery isn't running out. But, let's see. So, when did you engage in, or / marry them?
When did I engage / marry?
Or when did you engage with her?
I,
Engaged about the 2nd of June and got married the 8th of September.
yeah.
So, 2nd of June.
And 8th of September is when we got married, on the year before your mom's birthday. But
So, 1977?
yeah,
Okay. That's why mom always is like, yeah, let's just have my birthday like, a few days later.
no, she was a year later. She was our first anniversary present.
That's cool.
And we always celebrated her birthday in
Oh.
Yep.
Let's see. Why did you join the National Guard? Well, actually, more importantly, what made you quit from active army, and then why did you join the National Guard afterwards?
Well, my enlistment was up, was why I left the army,
Oh, okay.
and then I got out of the army in 1977, but I got in the National Guard in 1981.
Oh, okay.
I was still working as a chemical weapons guard, so,
Okay.
but a couple of my buddies were in that unit, and I needed the money, and so I enlisted.
Did you have to go through basic training again?
No,
Oh, okay.
heck no. I wouldn't have gone in then.
Let's see. So, let's see. How was your job at South area?
I liked the people. I didn't really care for the job much. I knew more than my bosses did because I was infantry. That was what we were doing. They come from various things in the Navy and the Air Force and stuff. And I got on the SWAT team in 1981 and was there till 1992. And I was a hostage negotiator from 1995 to 2005. And I got to be the team leader of both at one point or another.
Let's see. Oh, what was your reaction to mom? To your first child, I guess you'd say.
I loved her. She was a cutie. She was fun. She was just a lot of fun.
Laugh and giggle.
Yep.
She used to stand between Grandpa and I in the front of the truck, and we'd see cows. Oh, look, the cows. Goggy! Goggy!
Yep. You
Cow.
didn't say cows. No, Goggy. Because we didn't have to have seat belts back then. So she'd stand up on between us in our truck.
Fall asleep. I'm dead. I'm dead.
Yeah. But yeah, she was a lot of fun.
Like running up and down the hall.
Yep.
Like,
Let's see. How was life with a kid?
I don't know. I just figured that was part of life, because what we were meant to do is get married and have kids, and that was our responsibility, and that's what we did. And I don't think it was bad. I mean,
Well, like, did you have to change anything?
oh yeah, everything changed when you get a kid, because that child becomes number one priority.
I guess I don't understand it.
no, I mean, you won't understand till you have kids of your own. They kind of become the center of your days,
Yep.
your plans.
Let's see. What was your reaction to having that one over there?
She was a ball of fire.
He knew he was in trouble.
She had the cutest hair.
Stuck out straight.
Always. Well, you've seen them when they go down the slippery slide and their hair gets all fuzzed out. Her hair was like that all the time. And she was just a big ball of energy. She was fun too.
She was her daddy's girl. A lot of climbing, jumping, all of them.
So
Tell
let's
you
see.
she was about 2, then you couldn't take it
Yeah.
Let's see. How was your job and coworkers by this point?
It was the same. The coworkers, there were a lot of, it was a big turnaround. There were a lot of them that did it to get their foot in the door with the civil service system and then would go on. But I worked graveyard, and we would fight and argue amongst us, but nobody better get in between us, because they'd have to pay the wrath.
Oh.
Graveyard had we got a reputation for being pretty rough. So I liked it.
Why did you like doing graveyards so often?
I was born at 3:10 in the morning, and I stayed that way ever since. I hated day shift. Too many rules.
Makes sense.
Night shift, we could interpret the rules as we thought they should be, and take care of things with a common sense approach instead of trying to make a rule fit the situation.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, how was having your third child?
Well, I was a son by then, so that was different. He had the cutest ears. So he was just different. It was apples and oranges. I mean, he was a lot of fun too, and he was just. He had a different slant on things. I mean, he wasn't a ball of energy, but he liked to do different things. He wanted to be different things. So he was different, but he was still fun.
Let's see. So, when you joined the National Guard, what was your first MOS?
12 Charlie,
Okay.
bridge specialist.
Actually, we can get it yesterday. Let's see. Yeah. How did you like the National Guard compared to active duty?
I hated it. They weren't even wannabe soldiers. They just wanted to come and play cards and collect their pay.
Really?
Yep, until 1980 when Ronald Reagan became president, and then he decided the National Guard would be part of the military.
Oh, okay. I didn't know National Guard was even a part of the military.
Well, he wanted to be able to count on them as an augmentation force, because you got to understand, in Iraq, Utah had more National Guard and reserve units in Iraq than any other unit or any other state. And that was all because of Ronald Reagan's determination to make us more like the regular military. And a lot of guys quit because of that. A lot of guys couldn't pass the physical fitness test because of that. And our training became more standardized with the Army. And then I liked it a little bit better. But I loved being 12 Bravo because I got to blow things up. And I had my own squad. And
Yeah, I wish they still were continuing with it. And now it's starting to
Yeah.
stuff. It was disappointing to hear that,
yeah.
but it's not like it was back in the day.
Well, when I went to re-enlist my second time, they had a Pathfinder unit. And I thought about joining. Well, I went to see if I could enlist in the Pathfinders, but they were disbanding. So
Well, let's see. So you guys lived in the South area, right, for a while?
Yep. And then we moved we were in 212A for what, a year and a half?
2 years and then moved down to
And then we moved to 208B out to South area. And then we moved to Stockton
Okay.
in what, 1984?
83.
Yeah, that's right. It was before the flood.
Yeah, how was like the whole situation with the flood of
Didn't bother us.
Stockton.
But like, what was the reaction to hear about all this stuff that was happening in like Salt Lake and everything?
Well, I remember they called us out of sacrament meeting one day to come and help with Susan Bird's place because the the creek coming down Vernon was overflowing.
Ophir Mountain.
Oh, yeah, Ophir,
Yeah.
up to Ophir.
They had a stream that ran along the edges behind a lot of the houses. Got really swollen, and a lot of the backyards were starting to get eaten away. And we had to go and help the one who almost came up right up to her back door.
Yep.
before they stopped.
So we did that, and the lake got up to where all the houses are now in Walk and Don't Walk. It was up almost to Speakman's. So it got up there pretty good, but it didn't quite flood anything here. It flooded a lot out to Grantsville.
Yeah. So when you joined the National Guard and everything, how was weekend drill and 2-week drill during the summer?
It was a piece of cake. I mean, until 1980, nobody took it serious, and it was just a big camp out. All the leaders just shrugged their shoulders. I got to do a whole lot above my pay grade because I was regular Army infantry, so I knew just about everything that they were supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And in fact, my first year when I took my MOS test, I got a 94% because it was all geared towards infantry for the most part. There was very few questions that had to do with engineers. And then we got the new ribbon bridge, and that changed everything. We had boats and powerful boats and a whole new bridge system. And it was used in Croatia, it was used in Iraq, it was used in Afghanistan. Well, I don't know whether it was used in Afghanistan, but we had units that put those bridges in. So much to their chagrin, when they figured they'd never get called up, they got called up.
No.
And it scared the bejeebers out of them.
Except for you, I'm assuming.
I told them. I told them all along that that they would end up getting called up.
Did you guys ever receive orders to possibly go to Panama during the Panama invasion?
No. We went to Panama to build bridges, build a road, but I was a 12 Bravo then.
Yeah.
We were building a different type of bridge and building a road and a school.
Let's see. Yeah. Why did you later work at the Tooele Army Depot in Tooele? And how was it working there?
because they had a tracker team, a tactical tracker team, and I went to tactical tracking school. I'm a certified combat tracker, and so I went over there for that. And then they disbanded it right out from under me, so I just stayed because I was the same rank. So
Oh yeah, what rank were you by this point?
I was a sergeant,
Okay.
and I liked it.
What about the story on what got you to the promotion from corporal to sergeant? Wasn't there?
Only with the National Guard.
Yeah, that's the National Guard.
Well, you had to come in as a specialist, and then after a year, you could be a sergeant.
Oh, okay.
And a couple of us came in, but my boss came in with us. And one morning, my platoon sergeant come up and he said, "We boarded you this morning, and you did very well, Sergeant." And my boss was really upset because he didn't like the fact that I outranked him at National Guard. Wanted to know why, and he says, he scored 94% on his MOS test. What are we going to ask him that he doesn't already know?
Yeah, I don't know. It'd probably take a lot for what I plan on possibly doing, like maybe being a truck driver or something like that,
Yeah.
or a 91 Bravo. That's a wheeled mechanic.
A what?
What is it? A wheel operated mechanic.
Wheeled vehicle mechanic?
Yeah, wheeled vehicle mechanic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe doing that. So.
Yeah.
Yep, I know someone who does that. Very cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Plus, I don't have to go too far anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. But let's see.
I was a rotary aircraft mechanic for about 3 months. But
What'd you work on at that point?
I worked on, I safety wired a UH-1, and I changed the fuel diaphragm on a OH-6. And then I got out because it didn't add up with my job.
Okay. I don't think they have OH-6s anymore. Yeah. Did you ever hear a UH-1 take off or anything like that?
Oh, yes. I lived with UH-1s. Fort Lewis had its own airfield. I rode on UH-1s quite a few times.
What was it like riding on those?
Just like any other. Just got to get used to the wop, wop, wop.
You think you could distinguish one nowadays if you?
Oh yeah, yeah. They sound entirely different than anything we got flying now.
Yeah. The reenactment that I went to earlier, they're thinking about talking to like a preservation society that has UH-1s.
Mm-hmm.
They're thinking maybe getting one to do the reenactment with and fly us out to NLZ and then establish a patrol base.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that'll be really cool.
Oh yeah.
Get to experience what you experienced.
Yes, I love UH-1s.
Yeah, they seem pretty reliable too.
Oh yeah.
Oh, let's see. Oh yeah, why did you change your MOS to be a combat engineer?
Because they got rid of the bridge unit and sent it up to Wyoming.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Oh.
And I wanted to go to Panama.
Let's see. What was your day-to-day life like in Army Depot out here?
Depended on what patrol you got. But Generally, you'd go in, you'd get your briefing for the day, you'd draw your weapons, and then go out to your patrol vehicle and go to your patrol area and just drive that area and patrol it. And then, depending on what patrol you were on, if they had an alarm or a leak, you'd have so many minutes to respond.
Let's see. What are some of your favorite memories from the depot?
You're talking 28 years.
Well, by this point, around the time just before Panama.
Just before Panama. I don't know. I used to booby trap my supervisor's rifle all the time.
What did you do?
Well, I was the demo sergeant, so I had at my National Guard unit, so I had access to all sorts of fun toys. And one of them, I found out that you could take some duct tape and wrap it around the bottom of a blank and arm it and set his rifle on it, and it would go off when he picked it up.
Huh? Wait. So you take duct tape, wrap it around.
Wrap it around the base of the blank, and that would fit it in the well of the pressure device.
The pressure device? Oh. Oh, okay.
It took 5 pounds of pressure to hold it down, and an M16 weighs 5.6 pounds unloaded. So when he'd pick it up, the blank would go off. And did all sorts of electronic devices and things like that. So I had a lot of fun.
Let's see.
I had a reputation.
Yeah, like, so let's see. When did you go to Panama again?
96.
Okay. Let's see. Well, we're gonna go back again. I'm trying to go in chronological order, but it's really difficult. Oh, how close were you to going to Operation Desert Storm?
I volunteered. So we were within 2 weeks of being called up. So they didn't send me because they wanted to keep our command structure intact.
Well, you got like everything prepped and ready to go.
Yep.
Were you happy or upset that you didn't go?
I wanted to go. So I wasn't upset. I wasn't happy, but I wasn't upset either. I figured better me go with my experience than some kid that doesn't have any experience.
Are you glad that, are you glad that you didn't go?
I got mixed feelings.
I'll say, because, I've heard stories that a lot of guys that went to, Kuwait and everything did not have a good time there.
Well, no, war's never fun.
Yeah. Specifically, the oil fields and everything.
Yeah.
Being all burnt up.
Yeah, I had a lot of buddies that went. In fact, most of the kids that were coming in when I got out of the depot had already been to Desert Storm and Iraqi Freedom. And
oh, let's see. So one question that Mom had that she really was wondering was, around this time, you started being more active in the church. Can you tell me about your conversion story? Is the way that Mom put it?
well, I'd been working on it for quite a while. And your grandma she didn't push me. She let me kind of feel my own way around, and I was running to get rid of get ready for my PT test. But I had to run with all my weapons and stuff because I had to be ready for a response at the depot. And it was dark. And after a while, I started out praying to run, to get me out and run and help me to get in shape and stuff. And after a while, I started running to pray. I'd pray while I ran. And one day I just had to know. And so I went on the side of a bunker and knelt in the grass and took my gun belt off. And just prayed to Heavenly Father to find out just where I sat. And I wasn't sitting too good. And so I asked for forgiveness, and I got this wonderful feeling of lightheartedness that I'd been forgiven, and that I could feel that way every day if I lived right. And as I got ready to stand up and put my gun belt on, I felt a lance in my finger, and I looked down, my finger was bleeding really bad. And I couldn't figure out why, because there wasn't any cactus where I was kneeling or anything else. And the thought came to me that the Savior bled for me so that I could be forgiven.
That's cool. So let's see. So, when did you go to Panama?
In '96.
And what were your memories from Panama? I know that's a lot.
The kids. We were building a bridge across the swamp on the road that the rest of the unit was building. And the kids would come down and see us all the time. And I got heat stroke while I was there, so I managed to finagle a way to be the water NCO and make sure that everybody got their drinks on time. And this teacher brought her class down from the school that was just up on the hill from us, maybe 30 yards. And she came down and she said, I keep hearing all about the gringos, and the gringos are doing this and the gringos are doing that. So I come down to see just what the gringos are doing. And, it was the kids.
Do you have any memories of them?
Huh?
Do you have any memories of like interacting with them?
Oh yeah, we interacted with them all the time. There was a shoe shine boy that used to do our shoes all the time. And he'd come up and visit the base camp every night, and we'd get our shoes done. So, yeah.
Did you pay him good money?
25, 25 cents.
Oh.
And that was his price for everything, was 25.
Let's see. So around this time, what started making you consider retirement from the Guard?
I'd had enough. My platoon sergeant was never there, so I had to do it all. And I just, like I say, I just had enough. I was burned out.
So let's see. What day were you discharged and what rank were you at the time?
October 27th, 1997, I think. I know it was 97, and I was at E6.
Let's see. How did you
Thank
feel
you.
during your discharge ceremonies?
They didn't give me a discharge ceremony.
Oh, you didn't?
Nope.
Oh.
I didn't want one.
Oh, okay.
You've already got one.
Thank you, sweetie.
I'm back to spot. Oh, let's see. I'll let you finish right there. Let's see. How did your squad and platoon feel when you were discharged?
I don't know.
You never asked them?
Didn't tell them.
Oh.
I just retired. Went in, found out I had enough points to retire, signed the papers, and went home.
Let's see. So, after this, what was your reaction to 9/11, considering you were discharged not too long ago when it happened?
Oh, it'd been quite a while. 9/11 was 2001, so it'd been 4 years.
But still, it wasn't. It,
If I could have won, I would have, but I got called up to the depot and stayed there for 3 months.
oh, yeah. That's actually the next question is what changes took place in the depot after 9/11?
We got put in a building and we trained and patrolled every day and we worked with the Army. We augmented the Army when they came in because they came in shortly thereafter. And I didn't go home for 3 months. And then my dad died shortly after I did go home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, what happened the day that 9/11 happened? Like, did you get a call or something?
Well, your grandma come and got me up because I'd worked graveyard the night before.
Yeah.
Your grandma come and got me. Said you might want to see this. And so I came out and they were talking about the plane that hit the tower. And then I was there when the second one hit. It was only about 20 minutes after the second one hit when they called, wasn't it? They called me and told me to pack up for at least 3 days to respond to the depot and told me where to respond to. And 3 days ended up being 3 months.
Come home every now and then, get new clothes, clean clothes, changing more stuff.
Not until December.
And not wearing a uniform. That I remember.
What would you like to eat for lunch?
I already had chicken nuggets. Let's see. How long did you stay at the depot after you left the National Guard?
After that, you transferred north area.
Well, left the National Guard in 97, left the South area in 2005,
Oh, okay.
and then left the North area in 2011 on January 1st.
Okay. Oh yeah. What was your reaction to me being born?
Did you ask about Jeffrey?
First, I never asked if I suffering.
You got first, second, and third. You should probably ask one.
Well then, I guess I did miss that. I forgot about. I'm so sorry. If he's watching this, if you're watching this video, I'm sorry.
Jeffrey was our stoic one. He didn't really laugh or run around or.
I didn't start smiling much till he was about 3 months old.
Yep. But he enjoyed tinkering with things. He'd build things out of pennies and Legos, and he just loved to. Huh?
Cassette.
Yep.
And now look where he is. Still doing the same thing.
Yep.
Let's see. Yeah. But what was your reaction to me being born?
Oh no. No. We were excited to have our first grandkid. And you were a lot of fun too. You were just but you were just the sweetest kid right from the start, right from just a little baby. You were just a sweet kid. And we just loved you to pieces. You were just.
You were a content, happy little boy.
Yep, you were special. Always smiling, laughing. You were a lot of fun too. All of our kids and grandkids have been fun. But you were we could just tell you were special right from the start.
Let's see. When did you leave your job at the depot? I think you already mentioned it. But...
January 1st, 2011
Oh, it was 2011. I thought you said.
was my last day. I was going to retire in 2010, but they said to stay until New Year's for tax purposes.
Okay. Let's see. What did you miss most about being in the Army and working for the depot?
I guess most I missed about the Army was being challenged. There was always something to push me out of my comfort zone. And I needed a push.
What about the depot? What did you miss about
The people. Had a lot of good friends.
Oh, did you have any friends in the regular Army?
Oh yeah.
Mom talks to one of them all the time.
I know she talks to Fancher.
Mm-hmm.
I think is his name or
Yep,
something.
Thatcher.
Yeah, and Bender died.
Then there was one that she talked to till he died.
Yeah, have you talked to any of them?
I talked to Fancher. I don't know where Bond is. I don't know where Pitzner is.
He's got.
What?
Thank you.
You know, Pitzner still had a year to go when I left. There was Bowen, Roach, Bench. I don't know where any of them are.
Let's see. What jobs did you take up after the depot?
The depot. I went out of the army and out to the depot.
Well, like after the depot.
Oh, after the depot,
Yeah.
I worked for Paramerica, if you could call that work. And then I went to DI for a few weeks. Went to I went to Walmart first, and then I went to U-Haul, and then I went to the hospital.
When was it you went to Arizona?
Oh, I went to Arizona for a few months.
Between
That was between Primerica and,
Walmart or DI?
yeah.
When did you start working at the hospital?
February 7th, 2013.
You'll say 19. Yeah. Now we're coming up with the last 3 questions.
Yay!
As of 2023, how's life for you now, and how's your job?
I hate my job. Love my life. Get to spend more time with my sweet wife. Got you and all the grandkids and all my kids.
How's to deal with the most annoying one on a regular basis?
I mean, life is good, but the job I hate.
This isn't on there, but so I guess this is the last 3 questions. What do you plan on doing after the hospital, and if you plan on quitting?
I don't know. I haven't got to a position where I can. I'd like to shoot more. I've got plans for that. And reloading.
Yeah, I think I'd like to learn how to reload. It'd be cool.
You know, we're trying to get it set up to where anybody who wants to can. That's about it.
One question that, so the second question anyway, from second to the last. Mom asked this one. Throughout your life, did you have any near-death experiences?
More than I can count. I've been blown up, I've been shot at, I've been run over. Countless motorcycle accidents, just about fell off a cliff, just about drowned. Just too many to count. About fell off a cliff twice. Fell out of a window. Six or a second story window.
Blood sugar went too low.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
So, yeah, it's been a few.
Yeah, it just means that the good Lord still saving you for something.
Well, he was
That's
told
what
the-
everybody keeps telling me.
told in the blessing that his time would not be done until he accomplished what he'd been sent here for.
Now the last question. If you have any advice for people in the future, what would it be? You can take as much time as you want.
Don't be afraid. That's about as straightforward as I can get.